In this video, I'm going to break down the 3 investor styles you'll be able to find at Charles Schwab. And once you use these different resources, you'll be able to leverage them in the best way possible and figure out your style of investing. All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. Just to preface, I do not work for Charles Schwab. This is not sponsored. I do have about 11 accounts with them. That's because they bought TD Ameritrade, and then TD Ameritrade had bought Scottrade in the past. So my accounts have moved from place to place. So I've had the experience of enjoying all of these different platforms and also the experience of being a stockbroker in the industry. So I'm very familiar with these types of platforms. And if you're new here, my name is Maoli Vodi. So welcome. But we're going to get into it right now. And for the most part, all of these different trading styles can fall into 3 buckets. It's either going to be hands-on, laid back, or kick your feet up. And let's get into it. So when we talk about hands-on, we're talking about self-directed investing or active trading. This is you as an investor making the decisions. And starting off with self-directed investing. Honestly, it doesn't really matter if you're a beginner or if you've been doing this for over 10 years. You can find all of the resources you need at Charles Schwab, at least from my experiences. And as a beginner, just remember, there is no penalty for not having anything in the account. You can have a 0 balance and you'll be perfectly fine. They have all of the resources where you'd be able to use them, and you're not restricted based off of your balance, at least not yet. If you already have an account, you have the ability to do something called a portfolio checkup, portfolio performance. So this is where you can track your gains and losses over time, or a complementary plan. You do have to log in order to use these features. And you'll find that once you log in, it's going to ask you several questions and then display a lot of numbers and figures to you. I do like the educational features and some of the insight that's available. And then also the Schwab mobile app, to me, is very user-friendly. So you'll be able to do that. But depending on your style of investing, as a self-directed investor, you can buy and hold. You could have stocks, mutual funds, you can even do options trading. It's all completely up to you. But again, it's a very low barrier to entry. You don't have to have much or anything at all to even have an account. So that's one of the best features, in my opinion. You can start from 0 and be able to research whatever you need and transfer funds and execute. If you do want to see a little bit more about the portfolio checkup, portfolio performance, or the complementary plan, and you want me to actually log in and show you what it looks like, I'll have to make a separate video for that, but let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. Now for active trading. So when we talk about active trading, I want you to think about day traders, swing traders, anything that's not a long-term investor. Basically, we call them a swing trader. You might be buying and holding for a number of days, or you could be day trading, whatever. It's essentially short-term trading. And in certain instances, this is perfectly fine for you. But Schwab has one of the most powerful platforms that's backing them, and that's the thinkorSwim platform. They were a standalone platform that was bought by TD Ameritrade way back, and now is with Schwab. So it's free if you have a Schwab account, obviously, and it allows you to trade futures, Forex. They have a mobile app, they have a web application, and they even have a browser version that you'd be able to use. Just as a quick overview of the platform, you'll be able to see that it has quite the experience. You can essentially customize aspects of the platform. I'm not going to get into it today, but what you're also able to do is do a lot of things like back testing or seeing if your strategies will work. And then if for some reason you aren't sure about using actual money, they have something called paper money. And basically what you do there is you're doing virtual trading, and you're implementing the actual trades without using actual dollars. And it allows you to see if your theories or your trend analysis is actually working as you execute those paper money trades. And again, that's free for Schwab customers. As far as the educational aspect, they have a library of all types of education, videos. There's some coaching involved as well. And all of this is included with having the account. Schwab has its own channel, so you'll be able to see daily market commentary or commentary on specific stocks. that are trending or that have a lot of activity in them, and that can help, especially if you're a day trader or a short-term trader. I personally, I tailor all of my messages to self-directed investors that are looking to buy and hold, or maybe do some short-term trading, but for the most part, long-term disciplined investing is what I help people do. And if you're trying to figure out how to invest your first $1,000, then I would say check out one of these videos here. Now, when it comes to the more laid-back style of investing, we're going to talk about automated investing. So when we talk about automated investing, Schwab does have some really good resources and a pretty good platform called Schwab Intelligent Portfolios. And basically what you have here is the ability to have something professionally managed without having to have like the really big bucks. Okay, and this is really critical for investors because a lot of people find themselves in this space of like not having enough to get it professionally managed, but they know they want to do something. So sometimes they default to being self-directed, but there is a middle ground. You can have your funds professionally managed through Robo-advising. If you're not familiar with that, it's been around since 2008. It's basically using AI to invest your money. Schwab's Intelligent Portfolio will allow you to invest with as little as $5,000, and it'll be professionally managed. They do not have an advisory fee and no commissions, but I'll explain how they get paid. But what essentially they do is they will ask you a set of questions. So they need to understand your goals, your risk tolerance, and your timeline. They're going to help you craft a portfolio built of exchange traded funds. Those are ETFs basically, and they are chosen by experts. So they have the predefined list. They will create this portfolio for you, and then on a regular basis it's going to monitor your portfolio and automatically rebalance. If you're not familiar with rebalancing, they're basically realigning the portfolio on occasion or periodically to what you originally established in that first part of the questionnaire. Okay, so your goals, your risk tolerance, your timeline. It's making sure that it maintains that understanding of who you currently are via the questionnaire. As far as fees are concerned, this is how it stacks up against some of the other major robo-advisor options. So JP Morgan's automated investing, Betterment, Wealthfront, and so on. Right? They say that they have no advisory fee charged. Well, here's the catch. Schwab does require you to maintain a specific amount of cash in your portfolio. So if you have $5,000 in there, you need to maintain some cash, because what they do is they'll take that cash and invest it, just like how a bank would. So they do something called a bank sweep. They'll sweep the money over there and they can invest it as they need to. They'll still make sure it's available for you if you need it for some reason to take the money out, but that's how they're able to say that there is no advisory fee charged. So this is where and this is why it's important to read or understand some of the fine print when it comes to advising or management fees. But ultimately, it's still a very, very good option. When I looked through it, they said on an overall basis, we're talking about 0.2% roughly as far as the overall management fee to operate those type of funds for you as a client. And when we're talking about the diversified portfolio, they have a list of 51 ETFs and 3 investment strategies, global, US, and income focused, and then 6 risk profiles. So the risk profiles are more of how spicy do you want this mix to be? And we're not talking about like Carolina Reaper Hot. We're talking about chili flakes all the way to about maybe habanero type of spice level. So just take a brief look at the ETFs. This is what the list will look like. You can actually see it. It's like they're letting you know what the recipe is. You just don't know the proportion unless you do the robo-advising with them. So you can see the symbols for these particular ETFs. So they're basically going to take all of these 51 and create a blend. Some may or may not be included in your portfolio. As far as the risk profiles that are incorporated, it ranges from conservative to aggressive growth. If you take a deeper dive, you'll see exactly what I mean. So if we looked at something like a global strategy, conservative, you can view the results, and it's saying that 23% needs to be left in cash. That's the most conservative. Aggressive growth, only 6% is required to be left in cash. US focused, aggressive growth, or conservative. Let's see what that does to cash, about 23%. Okay, income focused, let's look at that as well. Income focused, you're gonna leave the most cash in the account at that rate, 29%. And then moderate, about 13%. So depending on the type of risk you're gonna have, you could be leaving as little as 6% cash in your Schwab Intelligent portfolio, or as high as 29% cash in your Schwab Intelligent portfolio. Regardless, just know that that's how you're paying for this to be professionally managed through the ETFs, and it's just a robo-advisory account. When it comes to the rebalancing, on a regular basis, they are going to look at it and see if it still tracks with how it should be. When stocks go crazy, then what happens to your portfolio is it starts to get out of alignment. Rebalancing is the art form of bringing it back to alignment, and that's all. There is another version of Schwab Intelligent portfolios. In fact, there's technically a couple more. There's Schwab Intelligent Portfolios Premium, and essentially this allows you to have access to a certified financial planner, which is a great resource. So it's a little bit more expensive. Remember, the previous Schwab Intelligent portfolio doesn't have a fee, but this one does, okay? It has a $300 initial one-time planning fee, and then every month you're gonna have to pay $30. And as far as that's concerned, I mean, it really balances out to about 2.64%. And that's because the minimum for this type of Schwab Intelligent portfolio is $25,000. So in order for this to make sense, you probably want to have a little bit more than 25,000, but 2.64% seems a little high for managing 25,000. And that's just the first time though, because the following year it's only going to be about 1.4% because you're just paying the $30 a month. So the more you have managed, usually the better you make out on the fees. And that's how it works with any type of managed account, whether it's a robo or it's full service advisory. So you'll get one-on-one unlimited guidance from a certified financial planner. I'm not sure how often you get to talk to them. It says unlimited, but there's not much in this world that's unlimited. So, within reason, I'm sure you can talk to them pretty often. You're not gonna wanna talk to them every day, I guarantee you that. I'm able to manage my own portfolio, so I don't technically need this. And one feature that seems really good is the play zone. You can do what if scenarios, and I think that's important, and that's something that you wanna work with a financial professional on, or a CFP, because they can say, hey, well, based off of your retirement age, if you change it to this, then this is what happens. This is how you have to adjust your lifestyle choices, and I think that's important to consider. College costs you can plan for. So essentially having a CFP, especially in the beginning, is a very useful tool. So one particular thing I think is pretty cool about the Schwab Intelligent portfolio, say maybe you don't have one account that has $25,000. That's fine. Let's say you have $20,000 in your traditional IRA because you rolled it over from an old employer, and then you have $5,000 in your Roth IRA. If they're both enrolled in the Schwab Intelligent portfolio, that's a combined $25,000, and you're able to do this, the premium version, and get the initial planner consultation, and then pay the $30 a month advisory fee, basically. But you can use a combination of account values in order to qualify for this, so that's very helpful. And lastly, there's one more type of laid-back approach with the Schwab Intelligent portfolios, and that's the Intelligent Income portfolio. And this one, I would say, is it's for someone who's a little bit more established in life, has a lot that they can use for retirement, and they want to start living off of it. You need some scenarios of how you can live off of that money. right? So calculation at retirement, I expect to have a certain amount of money. I'd like my money to last a number of years. And then your investment style, like that's the most important part. Is it going to be moderately conservative, conservative or moderate? It really depends on you as a person, but this allows you to basically state how much you have in your portfolio and how long you need it to last. Then now how much you're going to withdraw each month. And one of the pieces that I thought was pretty cool is that it's going to understand the different type of accounts from a tax perspective, because there are advantages from pulling from a Roth at specific times or pulling it from a traditional at specific times. So this intelligent income portfolio, it factors that type of stuff into a monthly withdrawal amount that you'll be able to understand. And it gives you a picture of what your retirement will look like. So, great way to be able to do it, especially from an income perspective, because not everybody wants to invest aggressively. It's basically an addition to the Schwab Intelligent portfolios, and there's no additional fee. And lastly is the completely laid back, kick your feet up method. And to be clear, this is for people who have at least $500,000. So we're talking about $500,000 and more, okay? Life gets a little bit simpler as far as investments are concerned from there, and simpler in the sense that you have more options, okay? And more people are willing to help you with the more you have. So what you can see is that you can start off small at Schwab, and as your funds build up, you have more and more options. So with the completely kick your feet up method, it starts off with $500,000, okay? The investment fee, this is through Schwab Wealth Advisory. So what you'll notice is that the fee starts at 0.8%. And if you did the math, if you're only managing $500,000, you're really talking about $4,000 a year. You're gonna get pretty much full service at this point. Okay, so the financial planner is involved. You'll have access to additional types of investing too, whether it's insurance. But they have a network of advisors that you would matriculate to, or you would be filtered to that advisor, and from there you'd have, pretty much white glove service. Okay, and the way it works with investing is the more money you have, the cheaper the fees are. Okay, so if we go into the Schwab Wealth Advisory, we're going to take a look. Take a look at the pricing. The more you have, the better. So your first million, up to your first million, you're still going to pay 0.8%. It only starts to drop after that. Okay. The lowest you'll pay as far as managed services is 0.3%, but you have to have 5 million or more in order to get that. So there you have it. These are the 3 different styles of investors that you're going to see at Charles Schwab, and there are various account types you can have, obviously. It could be individual account, brokerage account, trust account, IRA, Roth, it doesn't matter. But these are the styles of investing that you're going to find here at Charles Schwab. And it could be the more hands-on approach. And this is you as a beginning self-directed investor, or someone who knows what they want to do and they just want to save some money. Then there's a more laid-back approach where you can use more of the robo-advising. And then lastly, we have the full-service advisory. And you can basically have whatever you want here at Charles Schwab. A lot of other brokerage firms have variations of this, and they need to in order to be competitive. But if you're an investor that you want it all in one place, I definitely recommend Schwab. I think it's a very good resource. It's kind of that one-stop shop. But if you're trying to figure out how to open up an account, I want you to watch this video right here.